E equals mc squared. Do you know what this is? It is the equation for mass-energy equivalence. The man who described this principle is Albert Einstein, a German scientist and theoretical physicist who was born in the year 1879, long before World War I, when the advancement of technology was nowhere to be seen. But their curious mind and learning mindset has made him one of the greatest scientists that the world has ever seen. The intelligence of this person was so apprised during the time that people used to think that his brain has better capabilities than other human brains. By the time Albert Einstein had grown old as well. In his old age, there was a nurse who used to take care of the scientist. Einstein in his dying bed said a few things to the nurse. However, the nurse did not know the German language, and what the scientist wanted to say is still a complete mystery. Although, it is presumed that the scientist wanted to express his feeling about having a proper funeral after his death. But we cannot know what he said. But Einstein had some wishes that he wanted to be fulfilled by his ancestors after his death. He asked to burn his dead body and spread the ashes of his body in different places. Also, he wanted everything to be done secretly so that no one can perform scientific experiments on his body parts. Sadly, the wish Einstein made could not get fulfilled because of a pathologist. The pathologist who was designated for the post-mortem of Einstein was Thomas Stoltz Harvey. He was asked to submit the reason for the death of Einstein through the post-mortem report. But other than this job, he cherished doing some experiments with the greatest human brain ever, but he knew no one will permit him to do it. Although his job was to just clarify the reason for death, he stole the brain of Einstein during the post-mortem without anyone's permission. Even you will be surprised to know that Thomas Stoltz Harvey stole Einstein's brain within 7 hours of his death. The pathologist also took the eyes of Einstein and took them along with him. And he did all those works just being a pathologist who has no broader knowledge about brains and eyes. He understood that the brain can be a much bigger thing than the eyes, hence, he gave the eyes to the eye doctor of Einstein, Henry Abrams. It is still anticipated that the eyes of Einstein are still kept safe in a safety jar of any of the laboratories of New York. Although, a few days after the post-mortem, Harvey spoke to Einstein's family and said that he stole his brain from Einstein. He also asked for permission from the family so that they let him keep the brain. Surprisingly, Einstein's family permitted Harvey to keep the brain. But, because of his betrayal and irresponsibility, Harvey lost his job at the hospital he used to work in. After that, the decision to leave the city with the brain of Einstein. You must be thinking, what did he do with the brain? He moved to Philadelphia and divided the brain into 240 pieces and kept it in 2 separate safe jars in his basement. But his wife was not fond of the thing he was doing, and because of that Harvey moved to Kansas and started working in a lab as a medical supervisor. It is the place where he started experimenting with Einstein's brain. He also made a list of interested researchers who wanted to study Einstein's brain willingly and send them some of the pieces of the brain. The research by Harvey could not identify any difference between Einstein's brain compared to the regular human brain. But the other researchers have pointed out some of the most interesting factors regarding Einstein's brain. There are a few differences between a normal brain and Einstein's brain. Firstly, the level of IQ for a normal person is 90 to 110, but Einstein's IQ level was 160 to 190, which is nearly double compared of a normal person. It may make you think that Einstein had a bigger brain. You're wrong here. Another interesting fact about Einstein's brain is that it is tinier compared to the brain of a normal human. A normal brain weighs around 1400 grams, but Einstein's brain was comparatively much tinier, and its weight was 1225 grams. But the most interesting fact is yet untold. There is a part of the human brain named the inferior parietal. It controls the cognitive aspects of a human, such as skills in mathematics, language, etc. The inferior parietal of Einstein's brain was found 15% larger compared to the normal brain. This is not the end. The fissure, or crack you see in the brain images regularly, it's called the Sylvian fissure. And surprisingly, the brain of Einstein had no Sylvian fissure. A research compared the density of neurons in Einstein's brain with other 11 normal brain samples. The results show that the neuron density of Einstein's brain is 3 times higher compared to a normal brain. Maybe these were the reason behind the scientific and experimental success of Einstein and his road toward becoming the greatest scientist. Now you might think, where is that mysterious brain? A slide of the brain is now stored at the National Museum of Health and Medicine in the USA. The other 46 slides that were found are stored at the Mutter Museum of Philadelphia. The famous thief Thomas Stoltz Harvey died in the year 2007. Now it is up to you to decide if this guy should be praised for his work or not.